Beast 666 Universal Human Control System Texi Mars 1996 www.angels-heaven.org www.cosmic-people.com
Ready to start eating healthier? Meet Kachava. Kachava is the world's healthiest...
Introduction content of Project L.U.C.I.D. PG 919. Introduction. We knew it was coming. The Beast 666 Universal Human Control System has been designed and is being implemented in America and throughout the world. We knew it was coming. Now it's here, and soon, there will be no place left to hide. By the year 2000, Big Brother's evil, octopus-like tentacles will squeeze every ounce of lifeblood out of the people. A nightmarish, totalitarian police state is at hand. That is the thoroughly documented message and momentous warning sounded in this book. Do not for an instant think that you and your loved ones can escape the monstrous behemoth which lies in our path. Once Project Lucid is fully operational, every man, woman, and child will fall under the power of its hideous, cyber-electronic grasp. The magnitude and dimensions of Project Lucid. Consider the unbelievable magnitude and dimensions of Project L.U.C/D. First, it mandates that every adult and child, even newborn babies, be issued a universal biometrics ID card. A smart card with an advanced computer microchip. This powerful, reprogrammable .D card will store millions of bytes of information about the recipient, his or her photo, fingerprint, footprint, iris, eye scan, DNA genotype, human leukocyte antigen data, financial status, and personal history. Oh yes, the ID card will also be coded with numbers. One will identify the individual card holder. Another, believe, will eventually constitute the number 666. The number 666 will signify the hellish master responsible for the devilish invention of this universal biometrics card and its interlocked, computer network. Lucid establishes a massive, Big Brother, computer database of unparalleled, invasive power. Millions of bureaucrats employed by a hidden, SS Gestapo establishment will constantly feed this electronic beast with more and more data. They will hungrily and rapaciously tap into its billions of cyberspace-filed dossiers, searching for information by which they can extend the beast's dominion and influence into every nook and cranny of our lives. L.U.C.I.D's cyberspace dossiers will be made instantly available to thousands of probing, faceless, police state agents and bureaucrats around the globe. America's CIA, IRS, and FBI, the Russian KGB, Europe's Interpol, and Europol, Israel's Mossad, Britain's military intelligence. These are just a few of the planetary-wide law enforcement, military, and intelligence agencies having access to your dossier and to mine. A central Gestapo repository. Moreover, all biographical data and personal information about you will be linked, networked, and processed by a central Gestapo repository. Into the abyss of its databanks will flow never-ending streams of information, countless trillions of bits of data instantly, steadily, and stealthily accumulating and accumulating. The information will come in from laser scanners at supermarkets, department stores, and direct mail houses which record every single item you purchase. Data about your daily habits and movements will flow into the beast system from spy satellites, constantly circling overhead, watching us all like the squinting eyes of a giant, soaring eagle, ready to pounce. Hidden, miniature video cameras will be recording our activities, indoors and outdoors. Day and night, obscenely invading our privacy and instantaneously transmitting their mountainous files of recorded, visual data to the central Gestapo by the miraculous use of National Security Agency, Hanpisen via HEEK, each being sequentially stored and accessible on the Lucid net. Everything. T Envia will be duly recorded, stored, and accessed at will by the technocratic agents who administer this monstrous system, Lucid. CPACE. A mark or serration of PO, is be given mere facility when manufactured products come off an assembly line. Every gadget, every part, every device, every machine, every item of clothing, every piece of jewelry, every tool, in fact, all goods will come under the authority of the /SO 9000 program. A government inspector must put his mark of certification on the facility making a product, or it cannot be bought and sold. But, the skeptic may say, the system described here, codenamed Project L.U.C/D, is so draconian, so horrendously unconstitutional, that the people of America would never go for it. They would never allow such a beast computer system to be built and used. What naivete! As we'll demonstrate in this book, the beast system is not only being constructed, its employment against Americans and against citizens of every nation on earth is inevitable. Project Lucid will prove to be Lucifer's end times identification, surveillance, and control system. God's prophetic blueprint, Aryan control, we equals RD-me, to enable readers to grasp the inevitability of this malignant system of totally lice on our $5 accrued for VE last september to pillen on exactly fulfill RO. Prescribed with astonishing CL, in God's biblical ire given to his prophets thousands of years in advance. Bible prophecy, with its stupendous, heart-gripping vision of a perilous future, reveals that the end time will be a tumultuous period of decay and betrayal. A strong delusion, 2 Thessalonians 2:11, will overtake the minds of men so that they will willingly worship the dragon, Satan, and the beast, also known as the Antichrist, Revelation 13. They will also pay homage to his global New World Order. People everywhere will wondrously proclaim, "Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?" Revelation 13:4. This they will do even though the beast is given a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. This bold, but evil, man will even dare to open his mouth in blasphemy against God, to gact his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven, Revelation 13:5-6, moreover, warns the Bible, it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds, and tongues, and nations, Revelation 13:7. This, then, is a prophecy which reveals to us the incredible scope and dominion of the beast. His authority is to extend throughout the entire earth. He is to rule and reign over every race and over every nation. Extraordinary methods, a mark and a number. Never in human history has there been such a fantastic plot to handcuff and wrap modern men and women inside electronic, cyber-locked cages. Bible prophecy envisions a grotesque and amazing system of human control and enslavement. Is Project L.U.C/D the chilling beast 666 universal human control system which, according to the Bible, is destined to devour the whole world and break it into pieces, Daniel 7:7? Is Project L.U.C/D, indeed, the fulfillment of the breathtaking prophecies of the Antichrist, 666, recorded in the book of Revelation. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. Revelation 13:18. In studying prophecy, we discover that, to cement and strengthen his authority over the lives and fortunes of men and women, the beast will, in that savage time of brutality and awesome, aenoiai mati victims to commerce iaa gachil all-seeing ps of he beast aai at ana, pi and fa. Jure every person in its terrible sight, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Revelation 13:17. Remember, this does not come from some wild-eyed conspiracy theorist, as the controlled media are prone to describe it. This shocking, eye-opening prophecy comes straight from the mind of God. He says it will happen, and it will. The military wizards of invention for over 20 years in the U.S. Air Force, observed fantastic, technological advances come to julge $ART munitions, missile warning radars, spy satellites, neutron bombs, and, foot, MIRVed ICBM platforms, and incredible, electronic, killer A that in the imagination. Recall driving each day past the huge and monstrously solemn building at Lackland Air AOEIR where KST warriors reigny in Taliel CRAGR1 Reonolate, ENA AE BE Rumo KAL Human OAN net as communications Mac seeming to come straight out of some futuristic, Buck Rogers movie monitored climactic events occurring across the globe. Stationed in Germany, was the commander of hundreds of technicians and specialists who traveled throughout Europe and the Middle East, establishing classified communications links and transmitting cryptologically encoded messages back and forth on secure lines. At the University of Texas at Austin, for 5 years, taught officer cadets American defense policy, the organization of the Air Force, and the history of aviation and aerospace. Also imparted to them knowledge of military strategy and tactics and introduced them to a wide range of new, Star Wars-era aircraft and armaments. We even gameplayed, How to Fight and Win World War III. Futurism and Technology. Trends I was privileged one to ma IP ha, fem or with some IEESD technological minds. Also kept busy researching and writing boolstick high technology for major New York publishers such as Stein and Day, Simon Schuster, Prentice Hall, McGraw-Hill/Tab Books, Dow Jones Irwin, Barron's, and Facts on File. Among those books, Robotics, The Whole Universe Catalog of Robots, The Personal Robot Book, Ours in Computers, High Technology Job Finder, High Technology Careers with Robots. My investigations took me to research laboratories and exotic corporate locales, where me privy to mind-boggling information about horrendously destructive, high technology. SMS on the drawing boards. In the last few years, have steadily seen those same, dark systems introduced in the public marketplace, often presented as something positive, good, and official for the progress and prosperity of M.is.yl.u.c.i.d., the Advanced Computer Technology, Global Control System. Outlined in this book, comes as no surprise to me. The Holy Bible prophesied of its emergence in the last days. My experiences in the Air Force and in the high-tech consulting and writing field forewarned me. But unlike the government bureaucrats and the corporate promoters who stand to wield awesome IK and NLP, na wealth ATI-equals LUGL. Ha base L equals not taha in IEEASVS. The Vart Mani are totally offer fan for a Hari is to come. To make the people happy in his PA2 Fay the Fay Anna its EAEE ani cries su etc or en feasted cane were EIR or esk PED. And all this was done to make the people happy and to ensure their prosperous and contented future. As one revolutionary, Illuminati/Jacobin leader, Frenchman Rabaud de Saint-Étienne exclaimed, "To make the people happy, their ideas must be reconstructed, laws must be changed, morals must be changed, men must be changed, must be changed. Yes, everything must be destroyed, since everything must be remade." 2. Today, in the final years of the turbulent and eventful 20th century, we once again are hearing insistent demands for a new civilization, a new age, a paradigm shift, a new way of thinking. We are told that, yes, all things must change and men must change. The world must be reinvented, a newfound politics of meaning is in order, a new covenant. These changes are necessary, we are reminded each day by our mind control jailers in the media, to solve the immigration crisis, to institute gun control, to counter domestic terrorism, to fight pornography, to find deadbeat dads who don't pay child support, to save Mother Earth, to protect endangered species, to war against drug kingpins, to stop crime in the streets, to watch and monitor the militias, to prevent ethnic cleansing and tribal rivalries, to put an end to hate crimes and bigotry, to extend universal health care benefits, to guarantee welfare reform, to improve public education. The list of crises and problems to be fixed seems to be never-ending. The grand solution and so, to make the N happy, the Tadas or de Brainer spewhe love us de el gal it fed el. UCLD. This an AE of Black Science WK add Big Brother electronic devices. Implement this system, they promise, and a bright, secure future can be ours. A key component of this larger control system is Lucid. Net, a universal system of linked databases. Its sponsors claim it will be a godsend to the global law enforcement community, especially in fighting international and domestic terrorism. Strangely, however, Lucid Net requires computer registration, constant electronic surveillance, and a microchip integrated universal biometrics D card for every child born on planet Earth. Why do babies need to be tracked and monitored? Is there any known case in the annals of criminal history in which a baby in a cradle committed some heinous act of global terrorism? The designers of L.U.C/.D.Net claim their system is only proposed, that it is not in operation at this time. Nonsense. The powers who rule over us are already implementing many aspects of this draconian, computerized control system. They are doing so without our permission and, for the most part, without our knowledge. If you complain, they will tell you, of course, that are doing this for your own 90 that their control sensors will guarantee you security and, in operation, they add, it will help solve all those terrible crises the press keeps telling you about. The computer, they trumpet, is an instrument only of good. It is necessary to make you happy. Sacrifices required to Baal, however, in their book, Computer Consciousness, Author's Age. Dominic Corvey and Neil McAllister sound words of caution: if we fail to fear the computer's ability to become a latter-day Baal who demands our sacrifices on the altar of technology, they warn, then we may, unresistingly, become first its worshippers, and finally its sacrifices. 3. Please, beg you, read Project Lucid carefully and prayerfully. Sincerely ask yourself, is this not the setting up of the Beast 666 universal human control system prophesied in the book of Revelation? Do we not have something to fear from the computer's ability to become a latter-day Baal? Might we, unless we resist, become first its worshippers, and finally its sacrifices? Know the truth and prepare. It is, today, most unpopular to present as have here a message of gloom and doom. Men everywhere seem to be caught up in denial. They fear the awful truth, therefore, they avoid it and cast it from their minds and consciousness. Would it not be better, however, to know the truth, to discover the worst, and provide for it? Patrick Henry, America's great orator and patriot of the Revolutionary War against the tyrannical regime of Britain's King George IL, once made a stirring declaration of where he stood on such matters. My prayer is that, as you read and study the pages that follow, you will take to heart his inspiring and uplifting words. Patrick Henry, history records, was a man who rejected the threats and seductions of Baal. He loved Jesus Christ and was willing to follow the truth, even to the death. In one of his most famous and beloved speeches, Patrick Henry said this: "It is natural to man to indulge in the illusions of hope. We are apt to shut our eyes against a painful truth, and listen to the song of that siren, till she transforms us into beasts. Is this the part of wise men, engaged in a great and arduous struggle for liberty? Are we disposed to be of the number of those who, having eyes, see not, and having ears, hear not, the things which so nearly concern their temporal salvation? For my part, whatever anguish of spirit it may cost, am willing to know the whole truth, to know the worst and to provide for it." 4. Texie Mars, Austin, Texas. Contents 0. Introduction. We Knew It Was Coming. Chapter 1. Project L.U.C.1.D The Beast 666 Universal Human Control System. Chapter 2. No Place Left to Hide. Chapter 3. The New Mark Card, Don't Leave Home Without It. Chapter 4. Implantable Biochips, A Do or Die Situation. Chapter 5. Mystery Mark of the New Age. Chapter 6. ISO 9000, The Program to Mark All Mammon on Earth with the Supernatural Number of the Beast. Chapter 7. Blood Money, Corporate Profiteering and the Making of Human Cyberslaves. Chapter 8. A Worldwide Project of the Illuminati. Chapter 9. Silicon Octopus, Men Trapped Inside Electronic Cages. Appendix 1. Covert Operations of the National Security Agency. Appendix 2. World Surveillance Headquarters. Appendix 3. What is Lucid? Footnotes and references about the author for Texie Mars Free Newsletter. Chapter 1. Project L.U.C.I.D The Beast 666 Universal Human Control System. Content of Project L.U.C/.D, pg. 2146. Chapter 1. Astonishing and undeniable evidence exists of an incredible, new Beast 666 Universal Human Control System. Officially called LUCID, It is a grotesque system of universal slavery which, even as you read this, is being implemented by federal and international intelligence police agencies. The Beast 666 system mandates that every man, woman, and child on planet Earth be issued a high-tech, smart.d card, called a Universal Biometrics Card. The chilling system is slated to be fully in operation by the year 2000, to celebrate the dawn of the new age millennium. This computerized .d card, to be followed eventually by an implanted biochip, is an electronic straitjacket that allows the New World Order's Gestapo to track and link every man, woman, and child on planet Earth. Our activities are going to be monitored 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, by federal Gestapo agencies, the FBI, IRS, BATF, CIA, DIA, NSA, NRO, FinCEN, the U.S. Treasury Service, the Department of Justice, and countless other alphabet spook and police agencies. Their numbers multiply almost weekly. International police and intelligence agencies will also be linked with the Beast 666 system, to include America's Big Brother enforcing CIA, the vicious Russian KGB, the devious and wicked British Intelligence Service, and Israel's terroristic and bloody Mossad spy organization. No privacy with the Orwellian Beast ID system. The computerized Universal Biometrics Card guarantees the control and surveillance of every living human being. The card will contain templates, or samples, of the individual's DNA genotype and his or her human leukocyte antigen. The artificial intelligence software and special sensors loaded into the card will also implement a number of other identification methods, including the capture of such human features as profile and facial photos, fingerprints, footprints, and iris scans of the eye. A computerized, pen-like, fiber optic and laser camera will be used at ID card issuing centers to be set up around the world. All citizens will be ordered to report to these centers and volunteer their bodies to the camera devices so that the ID card can instantly be manufactured and issued. Babies born in the future will immediately be entered into the system at hospitals and other birthing centers. Massive, global computer system established, sophisticated, international, computerized, telecommunications and intelligence gathering centers have already been established in preparation for the issuance of the new, human control cards. The WORL.D's most advanced supercomputers are being utilized. All spy information acquired on humans, plus the future data from their Universal Biometrics Card, is to be equals INTE on a network, is OE the Myra Ager LU. CLD or Beast 666 Universal on Control SU, LUCCLDPL1AK source, is an interactive and instantaneous system of all living beings on Earth. It is designed so that no one can escape its clutches. No one. Pick 1 Gestapo agencies to arrest anti-government suspects, while its designers would deny it. Believe that federal and international Gestapo agencies will use the instantaneous information maintained on file at the Beast 666 Universal Computer Center to trace, investigate, monitor, spy on, arrest, and incarcerate resistors. From the highly confidential, insider information have privately received, it is obvious that resistors are categorized as any and all persons who protest or oppose the Illuminati's fascist agenda for the New World Order. Recently introduced, so-called anti-terrorist legislation, plus the Omnibus Anti-Crime Bill of 1994, are the catalysts which make possible the immediate arrest and imprisonment of any and all persons suspected of being a terrorist. These persons shall be deemed as risks to internal security. Significantly, the arrest of a targeted Christian, patriot, or other citizen will take place whether or not that person has actually committed a criminal act. Thought crimes alone provide justification for the arrest of deidents. Arrests of targeted citizens are to be euphemistically called preventive detention. Homes and other private property will be seized. The person's home, auto, bank account, and other property shall be seized. This will be accomplished under existing forfeiture laws, originally designed to stop drug dealers and kingpins, but now being used across IATs by Gestapo police to harass and bankrupt citizens opposed to Big Brother government's criminal activities. These forfeiture laws are conveniently used by federal agencies and local law enforcement authorities throughout the 50 states to grab the property of people not guilty of any crime. No court order, no warrant, is needed. Recently, treasonous federal courts have ripped to shreds over 200 years of American constitutional law, nulling that a person's property has no constitutional rights. Processing centers, or concentration camps. Individuals who have been arrested and their property seized and sold at auction, will then be transported with other dissidents by truck, bus, and air to a FEMA-managed, regional bipartisan ER said to proper. Tu ont alias ae bitch ta so es excus, that hen serving spouses and chiel. Dren of OAE reset are being assisted by the government. Final disposition, when deemed AE, will be made at a regional processing and detention center. The Nazis called SI enters concentration camps. In the Soviet Union, they were known as gulags. At these centers, methods and techniques of interrogation, torture, and final disposition honed and developed by the CIA and Special Forces Green Berets equals ERRA for Pro-M are to be used on AE seal the CIA and U.S. face Special F-4Os dre it a success eta par IE ho, for future human pacification programs. For your own protection and safety, preliminary information on Project L.U.C/D is even now being disseminated to federal law enforcement agencies. It can be expected that managers of these agencies will be briefed on how to use cover-up propaganda to cleverly respond to public and local press inquiries, so that the awful truth will not become known until it is too late. For example, government PR experts will reassure the frightened and startled masses that all constitutional protections remain in place. Worried citizens are also to be advised that the new system is designed to protect them from savage acts by international and domestic terrorists, such as occurred in the Oklahoma City and New York's World Trade Center bombings. The public is to be conned into believing that LUCID is for your own good, and anyone who says differently is either a conspiracy nut or a dangerous, anti-government protester. God warned this day would come. The Bible predicted that an end times beast 666 universal human control system will be used to control and enslave humanity, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, Revelation 13:17. Now it's here. I believe that Project L.U.C.1.D will be implemented at the direction of the inner circle of the Illuminati. The system has been developed and is being installed by fascist international EE and banks, working jointly with United Nations consultants, U.S. intelligence ATS and overseers, and law enforcement personnel. Project LUCID is Satan's end-times system of total and absolute human control. It will put mankind under direct subjection to the Antichrist and his Gestapo thug storm troopers. Every government on earth will cooperate with the New World Order system and act to oppress its citizens. All governments and corporations everywhere will have access to the LUCID. Net. There will be nowhere to hide. Purging and cleansing. The purging and cleansing of planet Earth is at hand. The beast intends to be rid of such dynamic enemies of the state as anarchists, patriots, and nationalists. Every nation on earth will join in this campaign to eradicate the human vermin and diseased human rats who, it is said, now infect the wounded, sacred body of Mother Earth. Project Lucid is vividly bringing to pass Daniel 7:25, which reveals that the beast shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change yes and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. This cardinal development in human control signals the rapid, breathtaking emergence of the end times beast. His universal system is described by the Bible as dreadful and terrible. The awesome power of the global beast system is such that it devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue of the saints with its feet. Daniel 7:7. The wise shall understand who dwell in unbelief that the time is upon us. Some will wisely understand and sort by 7 are insane why he alone pelted a and eik near will scoff for we that if I see it he many shall be purified, and made white, and tried, but the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Daniel 12:10, THRE is much more about Project Lucid that you need to know. I believe that cider information we have obtained is tremendously important, unbelievably vital, and so, let us begin to unravel the mind-boggling secrets our elitist controllers do not want you to know. Who is responsible for Project Lucid? The P Project to art the people of the world through universal computer identification and Traxison began in the T1 minds of high-level, New World Order planners of America's OE-retive National Security Agency. The NSA is an agency employing thousands of GOTS, i.e. elite personnel, and JS closely guarded by U.S. Army Security ITY personnel at Fort Meade, Maryland, is housed in the second largest building in the United States, surpassed only by the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. This huge behemoth of a facility, appropriately enough, has been called the Puzzle Palace. The mission of the NSA, broad and all-encompassing, involves war planning, security investigation, classified materials control, and management of America's far-flung spy and intelligence network. The CIA, the State Department, even the White House and its occupants, take orders from the chiefs at the NSA. In the international arena, the NSA is master of all its surveys. Every major foreign reclass SCE and EEAGK is GE van de EG equals held ZARS ed crimes of F Aranisals DR Pulsion Service, Russia's, KGB Sanil Israel's spy agency, the Mossad, Britain's MI6, and Canada's Secret Intelligence Service, CSIS, can all be laid at the feet of America's notoriously evil National Security Agency. The whirring of the computers and the eerie sounds emanating from the ultra-classified, cryptographic machines inside the NSA's Puzzle Palace never cease. 24 hours a day, the NSA hums along, its giant computer network correlating, deciphering, and analyzing. Data and reports from international banks, from the 32 directorates of the United Nations, and from the bowels of the secret societies, the Vatican Curia, and the various agencies of over 170 nations around the globe. The fount of global evil. This hulking monstrosity is currently the fount of global evil for the New World Order, which some now euphemistically call the New Civilization. It is responsible for genocidal massacres of hundreds of thousands of people in Rwanda, Burundi, and Angola in Africa, for the brutal ethnic cleansing and killing camps in Bosnia, and for the bloody, experimental concentration camp operation run by NSA stooge Jim Jones of the People's Temple, in Guyana, South America. Based on a growing mountain of evidence, I'm also convinced that the National Security Agency, through its subsidiary, servant organizations in America, the CIA, FBI, DOJ, BATF, IRS, etc., is guilty of horrific, murderous, and barbaric acts of terrorism everywhere on planet Earth. With their so-called black budgets, the NSA and its inferior organizations sponsor, create, fund, and manage terror units and groups of all ideological stripes and shades, from left-wing communist to right-wing fascist, from Arab Islamic to Jewish, and from white supremacist to black separatist. Pick 2. But the chief and most strategic mission of the labyrinth known as the National Security Agency is the development and oversight of the construction of the Beast 666 Universal Human Control System. Through its supervision of the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, with its own multi-billion budget, the NSA has been able to create and install a fabulous, global system of computers, satellites, telecommunications devices, and surveillance gadgetry. Since the 1970s, DARPA has been bursting at the seams with the billions of dollars thrown its way by our profligate, wastrel Congress. Ostensibly, this money went into the research and development of new and advanced, highly sophisticated military weaponry. And, in fact, DARPA has spent untold truckloads of cash developing laser death rays, weather weapons, electromagnetic field systems, reconnaissance satellites, etc. DARPA has also been the sugar daddy for the fabled Star Wars missile defense systems development. However, unbeknown even to our ignorant and deceived U.S. senators and representatives, along with its defense projects, the men who plot behind the massive, locked doors of the NSA's puzzle palace have also spent as much as $250 billion, spread over the past quarter of a century, to create systems of human control. Moreover, these systems are so diabolically masterful that only Satan himself could originally have conceived them. Lucifer in charge, there can be no doubt about it. The REA/Chief Executive Officer of the NSA is not a human being. The CEO must be Lucifer himself. For verification and documentation of the National Security Agency's dangerous, unconstitutional activities and role, please see the appendices at the back of this book. And though its human inventors insist otherwise, believe that the acronym, LUCID, stands OA Lucifer's Universal Criminal Identification System. A short version is Lucifer's 1.D. NE, and beware the keyword, criminal, which the letter C in LUCID denotes. In Lucifer's twisted philosophical paradigm and mindset, it is the biblical Christian, above all others, who is the criminal. Along with patriots and other resistors to the New World Order, the biblical Christian is to be culled out, persecuted, and neutralized. Ultimately, this identification, tracking, and monitoring of innocent, yet despised, Christian victims will result in the incarceration and death of untold masses. If, however, you do not fit into the category of a biblical Christian or a patriotic resistor to the New World Order, do not think you will escape the all-seeing eye of Big Brother's project. LUCID Dr. Anthony Sutton, an expert on advanced and futuristic technology systems, says that LUCID may hone in on certain individuals whom the government feels are undesirables, but everyone will come under its authority and be subject to its high-tech sensors. Sutton, a highly astute researcher who authored The Secret ES-Ment and other books unmasking secret societies and exposing the aims of the globalists, is one of the tiny handful of men who have, so far, exposed the manifest dangers of L.U.C/D. He writes, Big Brother planners have now excelled themselves with a totalitarian scheme to hook all of us up to a central computer tracking system, with the assumption that we are all criminals and need to be catalogued and tracked. L.U.C.1I.D proposes that the Universal Biometrics Card now under development by the Department of Defense be used as a secure, uniform, interactive, and instantaneous tracking system. Tracking of whom, you will ask? Not criminals, but according to its designer's own words, non-criminal justice background checks and alias criminals. That means potentially everybody. We applaud their ingenious use of the English language. What's an alias criminal? 1. The meaning of LUCID. Why the acronym L.U.C/.D? What words do the cryptic letters represent? Dr. Sutton has taken note of this curious acronym, L.U.C/.D. What does it mean? He observes that the word lucid is notably close to Lucis, or Lucifer. We trust, Sutton writes, that this was not a Freudian slip on the part of the designer, authors. Terry Cook, another researcher aware of the plan for L.U.C/.D, inquires, so what does LUCID mean? What do the initials stand for? Nobody knows. But Terry Cook has his AGs, and he has also taken note of the DEJAA, the Bible, NE, that Satan, CE 28-3 does, indeed, often come cloaked innocuously and righteousness. He and his ministers do not and deceptively as an emissary of good appear as conspiratorial, scheming devils and as wicked men, but as angels of light, 2 Corinthians 11:14. Thus it is that in every occult system, the priest and theologians emphasize the desire to seek after more light. Both Sutton and Cook mention AL's premier occultic organization known as Lucy's Trust, incorporated in 1922 as Lufer Publish G and located on United Nations Plaza in New York City. In my books, Dark Secrets of the New Age, Mystery Mark of the New Age, New Age Cults and Religions, and others, examine the Lucy's Trust and its subsidiary organizations. Show that it is closely affiliated with the United Nations leadership and that the Lucy's Trust's membership includes powerful men such as Robert McNamara, former Secretary of Defense and former head of the World Bank. The Lucy's Trust is formally accredited as a non-governmental organization, NGO, of the United Nations. Also prove that its name, Lucy's, is derived from combining the names of Lucifer, the sun deity, and Isis, the great goddess of Ivet. Lucy's Trust tells inquirers that AO name RSS Tom, the Latin HPI for ons or OE of an IE sol of the LPETRTEANSW world order made UG points of light. Some claim that the founder of Lucy's Trust, Theosophist Alice Bailey, coined the term New World Order. This New World Order will be presided over by a New Age Messiah, soon to come, who will govern a united humanity with principles based on occult, magic, NDAENCE, cannot EEDR. Acidiary GD acknowledge Hitch's TED by Internet deal as S being headquartered VEW, T de Emones, I or HEP Illinois, DR. Hilaris, who serves as president of the firm, lists his address as New Rochelle, New York. This is the same state where the Lucy's Trust is headquartered. Hilaris is also listed as a computer science professor at Lona College in New York State. Meanwhile, Dr. Cruzat is a medical doctor who officially holds the positions of LUCID system designer. He also is on the staff of Interpol as a medical officer investigator on narcotics control, and is an International Narcotics Enforcement Officers Association, INEO, representative to the United NS and GECOSOC. 4. ECOSOC stands for Economic and Social Council of the United Nations. In short, Dr. Cruzat is an official representative of a foreign police agency working with a non-governmental organization, NGO, of the United Nations. As mentioned, the Lucid Trust is also accredited as a NGO of the United Nations. Unraveling a mystery, it is apparent to me that, as researcher Anthony Sutton and Terry Cook discovered, designers Cruzat and Hilaris are reluctant to reveal the true meaning of the acronym L.U.C/D. It took all of my investigative skills to elicit a formal response from these men to my simple request for information. First, my office personally contacted Dr. Anthony Hilaris at Lona Leg. What does LUCID stand for? We inquired. The secretive Hilaris refused to say. UT instead referred us to Dr. Jean-Paul Cruzat, his associate. We were able to locate Dr. Cruzat at a company called Birkmeyer Software Vidbaki in New York City. Is Birkmeyer yet another CIA proprietary organization? When Cruzat refused to talk to us, we interviewed a Mr. Bernardo Lam, a technical specialist at the firm. Even though he admitted working closely with Dr. Cruzat in the development of the LAGAI. D. Sabtal Dr. Lam ERNA did not know what the acronym stood for. He did Interpol, the International Police Agency, with head, regarding LUCID, that Dr. Cruzat was the chef design and thus, as he eputi it Cruzat I is S phobia BAL me SHKOI after much curious delay and, seemingly, energetic attempts to divert us, we were, however, eventually able to communicate directly with Dr. Jean-Paul Cruzat through his email address on the internet. Cruzat, too, at first, did not give us an answer to what we thought should have been a simple request. What do the letters in the acronym L.U.C/D represent? Finally, perhaps noting our dogged persistence, the doctor emailed us a message in which he claims that LUCID stands for Logical Universal Communication Interactive Data Bank. Cruzat also maintains that he and Dr. Anthony Hilaris are not on a government payroll, but are entrepreneurs. According to Cruzat, L.U.C/D research and development has been privately generated. When fully developed, L.U.C.1.D will, he added, phase M enhance the international justice SYSLIMANWROL. T is being honestly straightforward homing. The whole thing struck me as bizarre, indeed. Here was a citizen of France, Dr. Jean-Paul Cruzat, MD, who works on the staff of Interpol, a European-based CADRVR and JID equals AO Samana Ambia led with he United Aden DK Senate to a used by he CIA, FBI. ETA all of this he OE while Yuden to be independent, with funds for L.U.C/D/RND, he says, being privately generated. Someone just a half suspicious mind might say all this smacks of the Intelligence Directorate of the National Security Agency, NSA. The ultimate purpose of LUCIDOEMES equals ang matania remain a proj lucid is le pair the unday ies this je baker hs of car eaea in one itself, is se it can be a used for, good or evil. BIHE technological DEEOEUCIIDPGR bli IOU aware why the TIG OE they are D yen vein to ANA EEND their techno will be dedicated. Was Albert Einstein for INE Amit Otwar FR Einstein, in formulating his theory of relativity and other mathematical and physics concepts, unwittingly provided important keys to the later development and employment of the heinously PE atom bomb. It is the hidden chiefs at the National Security Agency, their underlings in the know, and especially their superiors, the inner CIRCI the Beingity, whom we can rightly brand as the culprits. It is they who have conceived T.'s project and will finalize and set it into motion. If they do not repent, these men will be found guilty on Judgment Day for unspeakable crimes and treachery against God and man. What federal agencies are involved in Project L.U.C.1.D? In 1945, under President Harry S. Aden, A.S. Masan, IAA National Vitae to take shape. The arms of this octopus-like TE agency, the U.S. Air Force Security SARE, the National Security Agency. Over the vent. The Octo-USES gained AEAGS and impetus as so-called Internal Security Acts, crime control bills and anti-terrorist legislation were passed. Today, the multiple and fattened-up arms of the octopus envelop an incredible array of law enforcement, intelligence, and technological organizations and bureaus. Most Americans may have heard of, say, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, FBI, the Immigration and Naturalization Service, INS, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, BATF, and the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA. And there's the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, and so on. Few, also, are unaware of the ubiquitous and iniquitous Internal Revenue Service, IRS, and the Social Security Administration, SSA. Those who have run afoul of drug laws know of the Drug Enforcement Agency, DEA. However, it is highly unlikely that the average American, be he or she a high school dropout or a PhD, has heard of the following government agencies and systems of control and surveillance. Yet, it is through the networking and coordination of all these bodies that the beast is, finally, now able to prepare for his final, great push to control and ravage humanity. Here are just a few of the NSA-supervised interlocking groups and systems which use advanced high-technology control mechanisms and comprise the Beast's 666 Universal Human Control System. How many of them have you heard or know much of substance about? National Reconnaissance Office, NRO, National Crime Non-Case INA, NCIC, Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, OEOOOESE Red Pine State Union IOR, I. Office of Special Investigations, OSI, Triple National Central Bureau, NCB. Man and Biosphere Program, MAB, National Strategy Information Center, NSIC, Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, Counter-Terrorist Center, CTC, Nuclear Emergency Search Team, NEST, Defense Information Systems Agency, DISA, National Institute of Standards and Technology, NST, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, Defense Intelligence Agency, DIA, Directorate for Science and Technology, DST. Information Infrastructure Task Force, IITF, Air Force Systems Command, AFSC, International Criminal Police Organization, ICPO or Interpol, National Endowment for Democracy, NED, National Identification Center, MC, Security Council, NSC, Computer Emergency Response Team Coordination Center, CERD, Defense Message Age, ICU Combined DNA Identification System, CDIS, Shameless Immorality. The above is only a minute and partial list of those connected to L.U.C/.D. These powerful spy and police agencies are part of our unknown American Gestapo SS establishment. No wonder Clark Matthews, a computer consultant, writer, and authority on technological control systems, recently Euroslammed that the government continues shamelessly seeking powers and high-tech social controls that could combine the intrusiveness of George Orwell's vision of 1984 with the immorality of Lenin's liquidations of the 1920s. 5. Under the Clinton administration, says a concerned Matthews, the nation has suffered waves of legislation, study groups, and pilot programs, all designed to fatten federal dossiers and increase governmental control over every American. 6. Matthews compares the many, new, spy and police government agencies, control systems, and programs akin to the plagues contained in Pandora's box. The trouble really started, he sagely observes, when Pandora opened her box and turned them all loose at once. 7. Now, Matthews reports, after years of government building up its high-tech American Leviathan, the plagues are all out of the box. 8. IR with Clark Matthews' wise analysis. The plagues are, indeed, out of the box and named to infect humanity with fear and destruction. Project L.U.C/.D is taking final a shadow government other knowledgeable Americans who cherish the Constitution and its Bill of Rights and who, unlike the dumbed-down masses, are aware of the hideous, federal, and global behemoth. Now slouching toward us, are expressing their profound concern. In Perceptions magazine, Richard J. Boylan listed a number of secret, often dangerous, and hugely expensive agencies, projects, and groups of the three branches of what he calls our present shadow government. 9. It is, said Boylan, a largely hidden, second government in the country, which parallels the first, legal, government. Their activities, he noted, are completely unknown to the average taxpayer funding them. 10. Mysterious National Identification Center established. Boylan's research into the shadow government dovetails with that of myself and others. In late 1994, in my international newsletter, Flashpoint, Unmasked, for example, the establishment of a mysterious National Identification Center. While Dr. Cruzat and Dr. Hilaris contend that their L.U.C/.D is a prospective system, not fully in place, there exists voluminous evidence that L.U.C/.D will merely add the finishing touches on a Beast 666 Iljan Kos en we din a lieben en on a now big the foul monstius ne over a hinea. Thus, one label the entire PRS2I the ERTD with this vast, satanic web of electronic evil and slavery, Project Lucid. It is the project the devil will use cause all 019 of the IRA of Ora ejecta DL me EISICA senior. Is there any person naive enough to still believe that the recent spate of legislative proposals for gun control, identification cards, and other control of the people schemes are not part of an overall, carefully planned and crafted conspiracy? If so, what I'm about to reveal here should open the eyes of the most gullible of citizens. Unknown to the public at large and conveniently unreported in either the liberal or IB media, the Congress and the White House have secretly colluded to build and establish a monstrosity called the National Identification Center. Located in Virginia, this facility will be completed, up and running in about 2 years. It will enable federal law enforcement and spook age to use a state-of-the-art computer system to totally control every aspect of our lives. This is Big Brother/Big Sister government gone wild. The facts about the new National Identification Center are being kept bottled up for now, lest the citizenry become alarmed and rise up to demand their congressman kill the project. one congressman, Representative Neil Smith, from Lao's 4th District, inadvertently released significant information about the government's unconstitutional Gestapo scheme in his constituent newsletter this last October 1993. Discussing the subject of handgun control, which Representative Smith enthusiastically favors, the congressman boasted, the Rion phase which coup has been INNSL tenor solhava, a MR identify ICA system wit will teeny 3 PE applicant. That Congressman Neil Smith's unconstitutional final solution to gun control and other crime issues, a national identification center, is not just a proposal, but a looming reality, was proven by this startling admission. We have invested $392 million so far in such a center, about a 4-hour drive from Washington, D.C., and we hope to have it completed and equipped in about 2 years. We hope all states will be in the system by 1998 and will supply the information on a continuing basis. Meanwhile, we will continue to establish the National Identification Center for this and other law enforcement purposes. En real national CREA Kaner will NAL pen parable n mental equals opal EA to the New World Order, EET Christians mere deg enemies of the state like you and me and our loved ones. In light of this, how profound, then, are the Bible's prophecies which warn of the beast, the Antichrist to come in the last days. His last days government will cause all to take a mark. His police corps will register and keep track of the citizenry so that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Is the National Identification Center, then, a fulfillment of prophecy? Believe the answer is yes. But, of course, it is only one component of a wider system of Antichrist control now being put in place. For example, there is also the new National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees satellite spying of the citizenry, and there is the new Big Brother/Big Sister Clipper chip, already designed and now being installed in telephones, TVs, and other consumer electronic products. Jesus our Savior told us of the signs to expect as his return draws nigh. He admonished us to watch and take note. Well, my friends, I'm watching these things closely and all can say is, even so, come quickly, Lord Jesus. A spider's web of connected databases. It should be noted that, since my revelations in 1994, Congressman Neil Smith and his office staff refused to answer inquiries about the National Identification Center. However, a recent article in Federal Computer Week, a Washington, D.C. magazine for federal employees, basically admitted the existence of the center and its activities. In his article, Federal Agencies Link, Share Databases, John Monroe wrote, law enforcement agencies across the federal government have poured money into information RN GJ ball to OE ovament markets and iges. XANIE peer EE do PE hypotr that V will jor instantly available to federal, state, and local law enforcement officials. The federal government's goal is to bring random pieces of data together to get a more complete picture, what some call intelligence. Monroe, who, as a federal lackey, seemed to approve of this Big Brother system, went on to reveal that practically every federal agency, from the FBI to the Immigration and Naturalization Service, the Drug Enforcement Administration, the Customs Service, the Secret Service, the Justice Department and the Treasury Departmental were being linked together in a vast, connected computer intelligence network. Indeed, a coordinating command post has been set up to build this system, benignly called the Federal Law Enforcement SS Users Group, 12. Ominously, the article in Federal Computer Week states that the computerized system could be used in field operations, through handheld instruments and devices connecting BA with IHEPO-B-ins of the computer network. Equally revolting is the ICs are extending these links to state and local law cent per 13. In other words, once Project L.U.C/.D is in place, the whole constitutional system of our founding fathers, who wisely separated state and local police powers from federal authority, will effectively be obliterated. A Big Brother colossus will replace a rich, 200 years plus heritage of separated police powers. Clark Matthews, writing in Mondo 2000, sums up our current, precarious situation. America and the WORL.D, Matthews says, are racing daily into the arms of a malevolent Big Brother. Almost from the day President Clinton assumed office, it became obvious. The secret guardians of national security and public order were fully prepared to pervert the new generation of information technologies into a monstrously sophisticated, DG totalitarian OLA state. Bred en automatic spying on all public and private communications networks. Automatic profiling of all citizens by computer, gathering all available details: health, consumer habits, political activities, etc. Digital identity and social control mechanisms, in particular, smart cards featuring ultra-dense integrated circuitry and trackable clipper chip encryption. A smart card is literally a computer on a credit card, complete with large amounts of digital storage, and even potential wireless communications capabilities. Once smart cards and digital cash come into wide use, there is no doubt that this system can be designed to function with ruthless effectiveness. The information sciences and the touted information superhighway are being perverted into a total surveillance state. This year, for example, numerous federal agencies suddenly announced virtually complete plans to restrict access to their services to smart cards only. 14. A clear and present danger. Matthews' analysis is keenly on target. Everything, obviously, is being orchestrated from the top. All federal agencies are being integrated into L.U.C/.D.net. These police state agencies constitute a clear and present danger, not only to the privacy and constitutional rights of Americans but to our very lives. Through the assistance of scores of new alphabet police agencies and systems created in recent decades, Project L.U.C/.D is taking firm root. A Hitler, a Pol Pot, or a Stalin would have loved to have had the microchips, surveillance cameras, lasers, computers, satellites, electromagnetic wave, mind control weapons, wiretap circuits, and communications gadgetry of today's Dick Tracy police state. Dick Tracy, of course, was a good guy. But what we shall discover is that the bad guys are now in charge. They have installed in America and around the globe a comprehensive, Orwellian system that a Dick Tracy would have recognized as unconstitutional and rejected as a menace to true law and order. For more than a quarter of a century, hidden elements in American society, working closely with foreign powers, have built up this nightmarish, octopus-like system of total human control. Now, finally, as we draw near to the dawning of the 21st century and a new millennium, the nation that has given the world so much from the telephone to the jet and the television can boast once more that we are planet Earth's premier inventor. We, the astute, brilliant, and ingenious Americans, have constructed the most sophisticated, revolutionary, and technologically capable SS Gestapo establishment in the annals of mankind. With Project Lucid as the capstone of this unparalleled, hyper-efficient, and systematized SS Gestapo establishment, surely the world will never be the same. To understand L.U.C/.D and the ultimate evil it stands for is to peer over the edge into the abyss, where man's dismal future under totalitarian rule is to be found. Carefully and prayerfully read the following chapter, which outlines the Lucid system as touted by its promoters. Read and understand, for the time, truly, is short. Chapter 2 No place left to hide content of Project L.U.C/D, pg 4768, Chapter 2. Under Project L.U.C/D, the global computer network is so cunningly designed that no one could possibly escape its all-seeing, all-knowing, art of intelligence. Many will no doubt seek to short-circuit the system in one way or two, and hackers will do their utmost to unlock the keys to its electronic LTID, with so many fail-safe, layered structures, and is any with PR intricate and complex, cryptological coding, that avoidance will be impossible. There will be no place left to hide. In a strange quirk of occultic fate, with his L.U.C/D. Net, Lucifer is doing his pitiful best to mimic God. The Bible tells us that when the Lord returns, men shall not be able to flee his great wrath. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chieftains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hidna in ihe senza in ihe passe of the nae sane pr the oehe of the ion, for the goa day of his n is come, rwhe shall I able to stand? Revelation 6:15-17, Lucifer, in a pale imitation of Almighty God, is attempting to establish a well-ordered, closed, planetary system of human control. Project L.U.C/D is his chosen vehicle, the system by which he will be venting his own wrath on the inhabitants of the earth. To grasp just how expertly planned and conceivedly S system is, we turn our attention to the special features of the Lucid orc. Surprisingly, though much of what Lucid entails is kept under wraps, its designers, Professor Anthony Hilaris and Dr. Jean-Paul Crozat, have provided us a bird's-eye view of the system in two key articles published in Narc Officer magazine. 1. Narc Officer magazine is the official journal of the International Narcotic Enforcement Officers Association. The magazine is read mostly by federal agents but also by many state and local law enforcement authorities and by foreign and corporate intelligence and police interests. Thus, the publication of these articles in Narc Officer graphically indicates that Lucid is so far along in its development and employment that the top officials of the National Security Agency and the elite for whom they toil have given the okay for the lower level intelligence and police bureaucrats to have this information. How Lucid works? Let us then go straight to these explanatory articles by the two authors, Crozat and Hilaris, to examine what L.U.C/D is and how it works. First, we discover that the name, L.U.C.I.D, Crozat and Hilaris can see why include the Tra-Erk sign, copyright, each time the word L.U.C.1.D is mentioned. The implications of their law enforcement tracking and identification system enjoying trademark protection can only be goose OT at equals AELED are that under existing copyright and trademark laws, no future to use the acronym L.U.C/D. For any other OT, COP LTV, LD, we are airy, me to Yadakia is copyrighted. In discussing the system, it is SS Veli BB installed and become operational, so that its JE Dale of SEH so with a year AR 2000 will be met. The universal and comprehensive nature of the Lucid surveillance and tracking network is indicated by the author's comment that Lucid system will be an all-source fusion information center that will interface multilingual messages into a common communications network. 3. In plain English, this means that data and information will stream into the Lucid computer system from all sources, that is, every government agency, every bureau, every bank and financial institution, every corporation, every university, every vendor and sales merchant, every police unit, every military branch, every inventor, and on and on. Thus, all information will be fused, that is, collected, consolidated, analyzed, and acted upon, by Lucid. This will be the single point, the command center and global brain for the surveillance of every person on Earth. It will deposit every transaction, every piece of gossip, and every bit of information available on all the 5.5 billion people who inhabit the Earth. The fact that Lucid will interface multilingual messages into a common communications network means that L.U.C/.D will collect and process messages from around the globe in whatever language transmitted. L.U.C/.D will be the new working order's single agency for identification, tracking, spying, surveillance, and L become the consolidated and unified registry for universal biometrics cards to citizens and all the data contained by the cards integrated microchips. Most significant, all computers on Earth, the entire information superhighway will be networked into L.U.C/.D. It will be the planet's primary, core, common communications network, linking all other computer networks and data systems. In sum, who can doubt that Lucid is slated to become the Beast 666 Universal Human Control System? Issued globally, the Beast 666 Universal Human Control System, the beast nature of L.U.C/.D is confirmed by the statement of Cruzat and Hilaris in their article in Narc Officer magazine that the L.U.C/.D net will be the world's universal computerized identification clearinghouse resource center. 4. Please, read this title again, all 6 words of it. Ponder and contemplate each word in the title: universal, computerized, identification, clearinghouse, resource center. The implications and importance of L.U.C/.D are staggering. Yet another vital clue to the earth-shattering significance of L.U.C/.D is the statement by its designers, Cruzat and Hilaris, that the system will implement a secure, interactive, and instantaneous universal information system. 5. Believe secure means that only those authorized by Big Brother will have access to the incredible accumulation of data stored in the system. /interactive means that Gestapo units across the globe granted access by a special, restricted entry code will be using the system to track and control individuals and their every movement. Instantaneous means instant data served upon request. The system is described by Cruzat and Hilaris as providing 24-hour service, 7 days a week. 6. The global scope of Lucid is signified by the statement that the system will receive and digest messages and information requests from developing as well as industrialized countries. It is to be a universal point of contact. We are told it will centralize and contain input and data on individuals obtained from the networks of federal, state, and local government agencies, public and private non-profit organizations, NCIC, Nationwide Law Enforcement Computer System, NCB, Interpol, III, and the Department of Justice, and will be the essential communications link between national and international law enforcement agencies and participating countries' Department of State and Department of Justice. 7. In other words, This means the end of American sovereignty. We can, of course, as a consequence, kiss the 10th Amendment to the US Constitution goodbye. Now, it's hello world, goodbye U.S.A. Tracking alias criminals. We are further advised that L.U.C/D will facilitate, that is, make possible non-criminal justice background checks and tracking of positive identification request for alias criminals. 8. What is implied by alias criminals? The authors give numerous examples of circumstances in which the system will be used to track so-called alias criminals. Included is data necessary for government personnel, bureaucrats, investigators, regulators, police, and spies to make decisions in such matters and areas as *employment, *administrative edu status, *judicial, *investigative *tutorial, *se purchase. In other words, L.U.C/D will control the entire gamut of human activity, from jobs and licenses of all kinds to court hearings and indictments, custody of children, and permits to own and/or carry a firearm. Massive quantities of intelligence and personal information will be acquired, stored, and accessed on the L.U.C/D net. The demented brains who want to cram L.U.C/D down our throats are making sure that its electronic tentacles are able to race along the entire information superhighway, arching for juicy gossip and data on our personal lives and fortunes. Thus, we read that LUC will support, search, and update data from the networks of federal, state and local government agencies, public and private non-profit organizations, and so on. 9. It will replace all other smart cards in EXI. The magnitude of this computerized endeavor boggles the imagination. Detailed dossiers are to be established and maintained on 5.5 billion people in some 200 countries around the world. It is reported that, in fiscal year FY 1994, just one American government computer system alone, the National Crime Information Center, NCIC, processed over 506 million transactions. It is simply incalculable how many transactions will be processed under L.U.G.I.D, but the total figure should be in the trillions. This is virtually total control over the human population. The adage that information translates into power will certainly be proven correct when this heinous, intrusive system is operating at its full capacity, sometime before the advent of the 21st century. Gateway to the beast, the Universal Biometrics Card. It is through the Universal Biometrics ID card that the Beast 666 Universal Human Control System is to achieve its ultimate power and authority over the world's populations. According to the LUCID designers, all of the system's computer technology, hardware, and software capability are being prepared to fit into the framework of the future Universal Biometrics Card model. The L.U.C/D card will be a smart card, a credit card size .D made of plastic with a translucent microchip computer embedded in it. The Universal Biometrics Card, UBC, will be self-contained, with the built-in computer chip being reprogrammable. 10. In other words, at hundreds of thousands of scanner centers and sites across America and the globe, Big Brother's agents can insert your UBC smart card, linking it up with the master computer at headquarters in FT Meade, Maryland or wherever. Then, new or revised information can be downloaded into your card, instantly updating your computer on board. D card with all the spy and intelligence information they have more recently dug up on you. Meanwhile, police and other government agents anywhere in the world are able to request and receive an instantaneous readout of individualized updated data. The computer ID Card, the designers boast, will not only store more than 5 gigabytes of individualized data, but will also be interactively read through a multilingual, transcriptor/translator, computerized cipher via a scanner reader into portable and/or fixed equipment units. 11. This is the dark and dreadful future of high-tech control awaiting each of us when what the signers proudly term the Universal Computerized Identification Clearinghouse resource via LUCID.net is implemented. It will mean the end of human freedom and dignity. And remember, they say it will all be in place and humming along Big Brother's information superhighway by the year 2000. The eyes have it and so do the fingers, and the voice, and to make sure they've got you identified and targeted and can constantly keep track of your whereabouts and activities, the L.U.C/.D system will employ a comprehensive array of biometrics. Essentially, biometrics means the measurement of biological factors. Science has for years been tremendously busy researching means of identifying a person by measuring and recording his or her physical characteristics. Sophisticated sensors are now capable of identifying you by the shape of your hand, foot, or head. They can measure and identify the iris of your eye and the topography of your fingerprint. There is also your blood type and your unique DNA code. Machines have also been invented that can identify you by your distinctive voice. In a recent issue of the excellent, prophetic newspaper, the Omega Times, published by New Zealand author and evangelist Barry Smith, editor John Kautsimani's explained how, today, biometrics are finding common use by government and industry to identify individuals. Biometrics may sound a little like a company which sells skincare products, but it isn't. It is the word used to describe identification by human characteristics. Listed below are some ways that biometrics are already in use around the world. There is no doubt that biometrics technology will be standardized globally in the near future. A. The backs of ATMs are coded I1 fingerprint. B. Biometrics. When bank personnel are dispatched, B. Horized S. Fingerprints are downloaded on the computer to AE access to the person based on positive identification. B. The San Francisco International Airport has more than 80 hand geometry machines which identify the people who work there and allows them access. C. Los Angeles County Welfare System uses automated fingerprint searches to make sure that people are not double dipping into welfare benefits. This service has also been extended into other states. Seat in IIE suya atil uz ei fein ake to ensure Hetveen representatives vote on legislation it is really them. E. Some state and local governments in developed countries use voice verification to identify low-risk offenders who are confined to their homes. The computer calls at random times of the day. F. Russia has begun using hand geometry and fingerprint verification on the card-based bank accounts. With crime running wild there, it is important that the person carrying the card be identified with more than just a PIN number. G. The Lotus Corporation has a daycare center for its employees. If the children are not feeling well, or if they don't go to school, Lotus Corp employ them to the daycare center and have their hand geometry recorded. When time comes for picking up the child, the parent must be verified by rechecking their hand geometry. H. ATM transactions for pension payments of the First National Bank of South Africa, which operates a mobile ATM service to 48,000 clients, need to have fingerprint verification. I. The world's immigration authorities have realized that one of the easiest ways to reduce lines at major airports is to process frequent international travelers via an automated system. These travelers are given a smart card and, along with their hand geometry and fingerprint verification, they are processed quickly. The above are only a handful of examples of identification by human characteristics. The world will soon be filled with this kind of technology, and cheating the law will become almost obsolete. The downside to all of this is the fact that no matter where you go, you can always be tracked down via this multi-web of modern technology. 12. In their article in Narc Officer, L.U.C/D planners Dr. Jean-Paul Cruzat and Dr. Anthony Hilaris outline the types of biometric information that will be acquired from people to be programmed on their individual universal biometrics card as a means of identification. Acti lesion SNGRE depo L. U. CLD net information S from distant biometrics sensors and / or biometric card sensors. All of these methods have been developed through the use of artificial intelligence in 1992 by R. L. Sherman in his article entitled Biometric Futures in Computers and Security. The technology will provide methods for positive identification, although observing current civil rights and civil liberties legislative guidelines, by recording human features such as photos, fingerprints, footprints, iris scans, textual data, DNA genotyping, and human leukocyte antigen data, at milestones in an individual's life. These milestone data updates, via non-invasive devices, will involve only a touch of a sensor for fingerprinting, footprinting and for iris scan by a computerized pen-like camera fiber optic, done simply by having a subject stand in front of the camera. Independent tests conducted by Sandia National Laboratories, New Mexico, have verified that reliable fingerprint and iris scan systems are now available for research and other uses. Permanent digitized templates will correspond to fingerprints, footprints, and iris scans. Facial photograph digitized templates, only, will be updated and stamped during periodic milestones. 13. According to Cruzat and Hilaris, the following identification techniques will be secured in the memory of the LUCID System Universal Biometrics Card as digitized templates. The words and explanations are theirs. DNA genotyping and human leukocyte antigen will be available and represent excellent technologies for determining probable identity. DNA genotyping is the process of establishing probable individual identity through scientific analysis of DNA contained in some human cellular material. Human leukocyte antigen tests can establish probable individual identity through scientific analysis of hereditary protein material. Iris scan technology is a new, non-intrusive personal identifier. The Greek word iris means a rainbow. \T refers to the round-colored part, the pigmented membrane, i.e. the pupil of the eye, having muscles that adjust the size of the pupil to regulate the amount of light entering the eye. Every iris has a unique, stable, and highly detailed texture. Connecticut ophthalmologists Dr. Leonard Flum and Dr. Aaron Safier patented the concept of using the iris for personal identification. Clearly visible iris features include striations, pits, rings, freckles, contraction furrows, coronas, collagenous fibers and filaments. As a whole, these diverse sources of angular and radial variation form a unique pattern. Because the iris is an internal part of the eye, it is protected from the exterior environment. Surgical alteration of the iris cannot be accomplished without a permanent impairment of vision. Also, the iris and the pupil have an automatic physiological response to light variations. The irises of identical twins are different, and even more interesting, each iris of an individual is unique. These factors all contribute to the effectiveness of the iris as the most reliable form to ascertain an individual's identity when the iris is exposed to distant public biometrics SRs. Software and hardware have been developed. Iris detection and analysis require about 1/4 of a and tested for the iris scan. Second, a 256-byte image or iris code is analyzed in about a tenth of a second. The software compares up to 4,000 complete iris codes per second with an indicated error rate of 1 in 131,000. Lucid system has been designed to ensure a comfortable and non-physical contact identification through use of an iris scan. Pick 3 to 4. The footprint of newborns is a reliable, expeditious, and cost-efficient method for EDAEAIDE3 in equals AL 1994. Deter TE or NEFBI lika the EE video team and AEC Arensladine AOE Hina footprinting the ball of the newborn foot because this area contains sufficient rich detail to make an identification. In addition, including the fingerprinting of the mother on the infant's footprint document links the child to the mother within 2 hours of birth, preferably before the infant is removed from the delivery room, eliminating any doubt of parentage. This method is supported by the FBI and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in their infant abduction prevention guidelines issued to medical facilities nationwide. Fingerprint is a physical characteristic currently available throughout various grams kept at the NCIC and non-profit organizations such as the National Fingerprint Program for Child Identification located at the University of Illinois at Chicago, Illinois. Electronic fingerprinting will be the biometrics technology used in the Lucid system as a convenient and practical way to ascertain an individual's identity. 14. If you think the new Universal Biometrics card will merely be a convenient tool you and use to have banks, food and department stores, and others verify we are who we say we are. Can. Remen LBEEGENEAE on dies is, EEOS us in Vietnam, sensors were dropped from IJ.S. aircraft along Yen C-1H Trail and other transportation routes taken by North Vietnamese military forces pushing into South Vietnam. These sensors detected people who came into close proximity and SIR-MT to computers at U.S. military installations. The process resulted in FIG being dispatched to rain down fire destruction on ALBIA victims. Today, biometrics S5 and in many other countries. Messages to the NSA and its SI Elder Me A and PE Bread Cider AGSE but L.U.C.1.D, DEG of the protests of its makers and designers, is a killer of the amendment, not to mention the FIC amendment, which guarantees our right of free age. Promises to watch, search, snoop, JE us all OT privacy, 24 Lea AE7 dice. A weak IIERI examples abound of interlinking and computer-connected biometrics systems being built everywhere. The technological capability is exploding. We are fast becoming lucid, that is, clear and transparent, to government agents and agencies. Again, emphasize, there is now nowhere to hide. They'll have your face digitized. Consider, for example, a technology called face recognition. Popular Science magazine reports that, new software and accessories are making it possible for computers to digitize, analyze, and identify faces. Such identification might provide an electronic key. The Mega INE goes on to explain that artificial intelligence, AL, and a new method called fuzzy logic now exists to give computers a capacity for facial recognition on a par with the human brain. 15. Meanwhile, Face-to-Face, a $25,000 machine from Miros Incorporated of Wellesley. Massachusetts uses computers and Microsoft Windows software to create a digital cutout BDAAS10 and EY it with AOAER sired INA or UNL. D. To Big Brother Adot Deg in places like Singapore, in Asia,